reviews the critical impact of neglecting hidden quality costs, which are part of the cost of quality. What's cost of quality? It refers to the cost spent on conformance to quality standards and cost incurred to rectify the non-conformance. In simple terms, it is the cost associated with ensuring the quality of the product. This includes both good and bad quality cost. We will discuss these costs in more details in another quality mantra. Now let's focus on the impact of bad quality cost. We know that when meeting targets takes priority and the target dates are either unreasonable or delayed due to factors like land acquisition, procurement, statutory approvals and other reasons, it often leads to variations, reworks, that ultimately affects the business growth. When temperatures are high, it is often assumed that workability failure occurs due to environmental factors. However, despite mitigation efforts like covering the transit mixture with gunny bags, this approach does not address the root causes, and precautionary actions can only be taken when the problem is properly assessed, right? Only then can recurrence also be prevented. Unfortunately, many issues are simply accepted as part of the process and are not documented or addressed thoroughly. It is also worth noting that a significant amount of time and effort is spent on cost-cutting measures. How? Switching off air conditioners after 5 p.m. or limiting the coffee consumption, right? But we used to lose substantial amounts of money at site due to lack of a comprehensive approach to analyze and mitigate quality-related issues. Even after the project handover, poor quality cost continue to impact business growth. You know it? How? Let's say, when a customer complains about water leakage in the balcony's bathroom, maybe 3 months after the takeover, in which should be the structure under builder's maintenance, isn't it? Generally used to go for a year. So the builder must rectify the waterproofing issues, right? Obviously, the builder's cost, because it is still under maintenance. Okay. The cost associated with the labor, materials, or all these related repairs are summed up as bad quality cost. Actually, these are visible poor quality cost. But what would be the customer feedback? Just 3 months after occupancy, they are facing such a critical issue. Will they recommend the builder to their neighbors, friends, or relatives? First of all, they will likely become anxious about the overall quality of the structure. This will damage the builder's reputation. Obviously, it will hinder his business growth. This is the invisible cost of poor quality. Let's discuss another example. Consider the example of optical fiber cables. These cables are expensive and highly sensitive. They are used in communication systems and there are strict procedures for their transportation, storage and handling. For example, while shifting the cable to the warehouse or the site location, we need to use a forklift, right? The drum is huge. The forklift arm must not come into direct contact with the wires. Why? It will damage it if it contacts with the cable. It should only touch the drum. Any damage to the cable could render the entire drum unusable. Similarly, storage locations. Cable must be shielded from direct sunlight, otherwise the cable will degrade. This could affect signal transmission. Even if the cable is installed properly, we cannot use it. We have to replace it. Even during installation, it should not be stretched excessively. Likewise, there are a lot of procedures in place. When something goes wrong, the cable has to be replaced. The entire stretch has to be replaced. It is considered a poor quality cost due to lack of appropriate training or lack of proper supervision on handling the material. Generally, such processes that are considered trivial and ignorant may lead to huge hidden bad quality cost. Generally, there is a procedure to conduct a pep talk, and the pep talk should not just about customary practice. It should include the actual work activities they are going to talk about. We will discuss this pep talk in another quality mantra detail. If management fails to recognize the importance of workers' education and instead focuses solely on reorder and rectify the issues, because mostly what happens at the site is they are run up on the shift. So catching up on the schedule is most critical task. As soon as the shift starts, they have to start. If the culture continues like this, they may pay huge in the future. So before starting, It's essential to conduct a pep talk that addresses critical factors. They have to prepare a proper presentation depending on the type of workers. Yes, the language is most important. We will have diversified workers. They should understand what we're talking about, isn't it? They have to make signboards, notices, all such cost, training cost, how to train, and the entire supervision team, and what documentation is available. All are part of a good quality cost, generally noted as preventive cost. So the management should focus on spending more on preventive cost, correct? Otherwise, it will be a biggest problem for the management. In my experience, one of the most commonly overlooked factors is a tendency to focus solely on preventive positive cost figures, often at the expense of accurately addressing underlying issues. This occurs for two main reasons in my knowledge. First, department heads are typically reluctant to highlight the failures or weaknesses during management review. They feel it is their own fault and take it too personally. Secondly, there is often a lack of management commitment to ensure that actual data is properly captured and recorded. In many project monthly reports, quality cost report section is not included. In the rare instance that they are included, these reports mostly rely on historical values from the past data, which often don't align with the actual situation. The reality is that we lack an effective mechanism to capture when things go wrong. For instance, we only account for the cost of concrete waste when rejected at the site. It could be for many reasons, let's say after failing the slum test. But this is often recorded without a thorough investigation into the root cause. Therefore, it's essential that management takes the following steps to accurately calculate and manage the real quality cost. The first thing I would say is to promote a culture of open discussion when things go wrong. This is so critical. The second thing is to stop evaluating employee performance based solely on the number of NCRs as a bad quality cost. This creates an environment where employees may try to hide their mistakes or downplay the issue's severity, potentially leading to higher bad quality cost in the future. Thirdly, I would recommend to establish a real-time department-wise database of quality cost. So focusing on quality during manufacturing, installation, if it's a site, construction, execution, at all stages, design, any stage, it is very, very critical and needs to be assessed for quality cost. This requires setting up an open system where employees at all levels can report incidents, defects, or near misses. Such transparency ensures that management receives accurate information from the site. Then what is the fourth step? Root cause analysis and corrective action. You have got all the data. Data gathering is done. Nowadays, plenty of tools are available like Tableau. There are many tools to analyze the data and make beautiful presentation. They also include different types of root causes. We know the methods, right? We can choose the method, depends on the type of data, and we can identify the corrective action. Last but not least, proper implementation has to be monitored through the progress review meetings like weekly progress meeting, monthly progress reporting, or yearly report, or 6 months once the management review meeting, the quality meeting. So it depends on the management convenience and the type of project. It needs to be reviewed how the effective corrective actions are. For example, a cable damage, recurrent rates of similar issues or related new issues like it may be assessed based on the project stages. It may be stages wise or as I said yearly, depends on the project type and duration. Okay, when we notice recurrence or new issues, we have to include and identify what would be the corrective action. If it is the same corrective action, then why it is not effective? What went wrong? Like continuous monitoring should be employed. Investing in preventive measures like this is critical to avoid the cost of poor quality. Management should focus on minimizing invisible quality cost. It will have a significant long-term impact on business success. We will explore the quality cost in more detail with another quality mantra. Meanwhile, my article on quality cost calculation published on CQI portal can be referred if interested. Thanks for watching.